All right, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're thrilled you guys are here, and you are now part of a long-standing tradition. And as you can see, we are celebrating our 25th High School Science Day here at the Salk, and you guys give yourselves a round of applause because you are part of it. And I need to do some acknowledgments. Unfortunately, Dick Friedman's not with us, but we have had a 5-year partnership with the March of Dimes, and so we wanted to acknowledge that collaboration. Actually, March of Dimes was key into the establishment of the Salk Institute almost 55 years ago. The time is going by. And so then we became, 5 years ago, a partnership with them for the High School Science Day. And you have a packet, in your packet, you have some information about teen youth. And the March of Dimes Association is really, really key in involving young people in the eradication of premature babies. And you would think that's not with all the technology that we have, that wouldn't be a problem even here in the U.S., but it is. And so take a look at their website if you want and get some more information about that. And we are very happy to, if you have any questions, you can also contact us. So next, I'd like to quickly go and tell you a little bit about our program, the Educational Outreach. And it really is myself and Donna Manston who are the whole department. And oh yeah, and we have Derek too. I apologize. We have a new member of our team. And our programs are geared towards really inspiring students about science. We don't necessarily want to turn you all into junior scientists. We just want you to be exposed and get to meet and be excited about what we do. The Mobile Science Lab is our middle school program. Has any of you been involved in the Mobile Science Lab? Anybody here see it? Yeah, raise your hand high. Yay! That program goes around the county and introduces students to biotechnology. It's geared towards 7th grade. And we bring our researchers out into the classroom. And then we have today, our March of Dimes High School Science Day, which you're going to learn more about. And then we have our High School Scholars Program, and I'm going to talk much more about that. But then we have 2 new programs we kind of wanted to tell you about. It's Side Chats is our new program geared towards elementary school level, and our researchers are creating a blog, giving information about their lives, and sometimes taking a GoPro and going around into their own laboratories, and then Skyping into a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classroom. So this is a new model that we've developed. It's been very enthusiastically received on our side. We've had more than enough people wanting to participate, and the students ask the most amazing questions when they're Skyping with our scientists. And then we have a new partnership in science, and we actually have 2 teachers here that are part of it. We're Steel Canyon, La Jolla High, and Mountain Empire high schools are participating. And you want to stand up, teacher Rachel and Betty? They are going to create, and so be alert, high school teachers. We are creating a new curriculum for high school students, and we're working closely on just sort of designing about how does a scientist really go about creating their work. What are the sort of thought process and stuff. So that's our newest, and that was through a AAAS STEM grant. So let me tell you one thing about, this is what we wanted to take home lesson even now so you guys can think about it. Our high school science scholars program was actually started by Jonas Salk. He truly believed that people like yourselves should get in here, meet our researchers, and really get hopefully excited about doing basic research. So this program is, you work with our mentors on an actual part of some of their research work. It's paid. Here's the time frame for this year. You must commit to this whole time frame, no holidays during it. Okay, you get July 4th off, all right? But you can't go with your family to Yellowstone. So we also, there's a yellow folder, yellow flyer in your folder. Please take a look at it. And also teachers, think about it too. There's summer externships. This is actually put on by Biocom's Life Science Summer Institute. We are a participating organization with it. Here's where your application is. You must file it by, Donna had this today, 11:59 p.m. on March 28th. So it's fully online. We've had previous hard copies and online applications, but now this year it's fully online. So, and I'd love our high school scholars that are here and are part of our tour guides, please stand up. Come on, scholars. Come on, yay! Woohoo! Thank you. So they're even coming back. We can't, we could keep them coming back. So here you guys are, and this is just the aerial view. And actually 25 years ago, there was these two buildings, and this space that you're down here below wasn't here. And here is a brief, a brief time.
What a rush. That's how one student described Science Day at the Salk Institute.
No sleeping in on this Saturday morning, not for these students from 34 area high schools, and with good reason. Names known worldwide, such as Jonas Salk, for whom encouragement of young minds is common sense.
If we create a society in which there is enthusiasm, they will catch that enthusiasm. It's infectious.
Your life will be more satisfying, Salk told students, if you choose a purpose and fulfill it. But with this group, he may have been preaching to the choir. Michelle Ragland says she's wanted to study molecular biology since she was a child.
In my opinion, it's very exciting. You never know what you're going to find, and the possibilities are endless, and just the knowledge that you might find something completely new, it blows me away.
Nobel laureate Francis Crick, whose DNA discovery opened new doors of science, Crick described the years before he won the Nobel Prize.
It took 3 or 4 years before I realized we'd done anything that was prize-worthy. It was somebody else who's made some casual remark. And I suddenly realized, good heavens, that's the sort of thing they give prizes for.
Undoubtedly, more than memories will come from what has to be the ultimate class photo. Years from now, these smiling faces may be not only curing or discovering, but teaching other young faces.
They enhance my way of thinking. Now I'm more interested in science. It's like motivation. You get to see what you can do, what you're capable of doing. And so I look up to them, and I'm envious. I just hope someday I could be that.
There they were, 6 deep in fans and handing out autographs, not rock stars or sports figures, but heroes nonetheless, legends of a more lasting nature.
Teachers and students also toured some of the research labs and talked with scientists about their projects.
So now you guys actually got to see actual video of Jonas Salk and Francis Crick. And you guys know who Francis Crick was? Does everybody know? Who was he?
He was part of the team with the guy named Watson that built the famous DNA model, and he's kind of the executive.
Pretty cool. We stand on big shoulders here. And Francis actually was here for many years, and he actually went in the direction of studying brain and cognition. So he didn't stay with DNA technology after he made the most seminal discovery. So here's just some quick snapshots of, you guys are going to be doing pretty much the same things. You're going to be meeting with our tour guides, and you can be able to get into the laboratories. And the first one was actually Leap into Science because it was on leap year. So, and we wanted to, this is the ultimate photo, and we have some people here that will be talking to you about it. But this is actually out in our courtyard. Hope lies in dreams, in imaginations, and in the courage for those who dare to make dreams into reality. So we hope that your dreams might come with doing science, but also you use this opportunity to feel out what other things you might do, because there's all aspects of the pursuit of science can be used in many other fields. And now we'd like to honor the visionaries behind the high school science day. And there were two women, Ann Blue, who unfortunately is not with us anymore, and Pat Winter. And the story behind this was they were at a big round table discussing the 30th anniversary of Salk, and they hung in the back and they didn't really sign up for any committees. And then all of a sudden Dr. Salk looked at them and said, okay, what are you guys really going to do and what do you want to do? And it was these two women's vision to have the high school science day, and really we stand on their shoulders for most of our educational outreach. So Pat Winter, would you come up? And Neil, come up in honor. Sort of down in front, we have some alumni. We always did this with volunteer help, and we couldn't have done it with some of the women that are down here, and we have former teachers. And now I'd like to have you listen to just two people who are really intimately involved with the first high school science day. And now he looks a little different, but I'd like to welcome Dr. Wall. Well, okay, the hair's just lighter. Okay, come on up, Jack.
Thanks very much, Ellen, and thank you, Pat, for your inspiration, Neil, for everything that Ann did for this. And I want to thank all of you for getting up so early, for your interest, enthusiasm, and for even the idea that you might be a scientist in the future. Ellen asked me to speak for just a few minutes about why it was that we wanted to have high school science day in those days and why it is that we continue to have it now. And so that was me in the old seminar room in the other building. We didn't have this one. And in the color picture, you noticed I was wearing tan pants and a blue shirt. I would say I remembered that, but actually I didn't. But it's just boring, I guess. So when you go and you walk west to go into the laboratories, I want you to pay special attention to that courtyard and what you look out onto. You look out onto the horizon. It's like an infinite distance away. And what science enables you to do is to imagine what's an infinite distance away, to break it up into manageable pieces, to accomplish ends that you would think would be unimaginable in the beginning. It gives you the ability to solve problems that are not solvable today, that will make a difference in human health and understanding for the future. So what you do today can have an impact on generations to come. And that's one of the things that Jonas Salk impressed upon us. He said, we must always act to be wise ancestors. Think about the actions that you're doing today, because they'll have an impact on tomorrow. Let me give you a few examples of some of the amazing things that people at Salk have done. And it's, as one of the students in the film said, she said, you know, we will, as scientists, you might be able to see things that people have never seen before. And in fact, I've seen that in my own lab. It's an amazing thing, and that's what gets you addicted to science. Science is a lot of frustration. But when you see that thing for the first time that nobody in history has ever seen before, you know you're making a fundamental discovery, a contribution that will last for the future. So let me give you a few examples. Here's one of them. The Salk Institute has about half of its faculty studying neurobiology. And this involves everything from how we think, what consciousness is, what the nature of learning, how learning and memory come about, but also how we perceive the world around us. So we have one scientist, Terry Sinofsky, who was thinking about how is it that we hear sounds and process them, and how is it that we process sounds in a room that's filled with noise, but we're focusing on one conversation. Thinking about that problem led him to the algorithm that generated the noise-canceling headphones that you wear today. So that's one of our scientists. Another one, Tony Hunter. Tony Hunter was interested in how viruses cause cancer and how a specific protein in a specific virus works. And he was working over one Christmas, and he was really tired, and he didn't want to make a new buffer. So he used an old buffer, and he ran out a sample, such as he had run before, but he saw a new spot on that sample. And he analyzed that spot, and it turned out to be a unique compound that had never been discovered before. And that little compound, which is called phosphotyrosine, turned out to give him and other researchers the key about how many proteins that cause cancer work. And 35 years later, that led to the development of a drug that is now almost a cure for several kinds of cancer that were death sentences at the time that he discovered that one little molecule. So that's discovering the unimaginable at the time and having an impact on the future. And here's one final one. We're in an era of climate change. The Salk has three major divisions, one that studies plant biology, one that studies neurobiology, and one that studies cancer biology. Our plant biology group is very small, but it's at the top of the world in terms of its impact. And people in the plant biology group are understanding how it is that plants become resistant to drought, how it is that they can grow in shaded areas, how it is that they'll be able to grow in extreme climates. They're making discoveries today that will impact the health and welfare of everybody who is to come in the future. They are fulfilling Jonas Salk's admonition, be wise ancestors. From your faces, from your interest in coming here, I can see that you have the interest in being wise ancestors, and I want to welcome you here. I want you to meet the scientists who come from all over the world, to see their enthusiasm and to think that at some point in the not too distant future, you could be working here, you could be one of them contributing to the future as well. Thank you very much.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better. Okay, now we have also one other person, and I actually can't identify him, so he's going to come up here and identify where he is in that photo and tell you perspective from being a student.
I'm actually a little embarrassed to point out where I am in that photo, so I'm going to decline that opportunity. So I'm just over to the right of the photo in the white t-shirt with the... right there. And I've got the, the big 80s hair, yes. So I'm just going to say a few words. I'd like to first thank Donna for inviting me to come to this. It's a really big honor to be here. But I'd also really like to give a big thanks to my high school biology teacher, Mr. Gabler, who was one of my, if you could stand up, please. Mr. Gabler was one of my earliest inspirations to go into a career in science, and I really appreciate everything that he did for me. And in fact, I was hoping everybody in the room could give a round of applause to all of the teachers who are here, because they're really, we thank you for what you do. So I attended this same program when I was in high school, and it got me really excited about a career in science. I got to meet Crick and Salk when I was here, and obviously those men did great things for science. I'm now a neurologist here in San Diego, and I see many patients who have intractable, incurable neurological diseases like Alzheimer's disease and ALS. And we made great advances in treating some neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. But my hope is that by coming to this day, you'll be inspired to form the next generation of scientists who help us find solutions for these diseases like Alzheimer's disease, as Salk did for polio. So I hope you have a great day. I'm happy to talk to any of you if you have questions about careers in medicine, and thank you for having me.
So now it's up to Donna. Okay, so this is the next. I'm going to pass you on to Donna Manston. She's going to go through the logistics of the day. But I want to thank you all, both teachers and students, for getting up here, coming here today. We had an overwhelming response, and I'm happy we could accommodate as many as we could today, but there were some that maybe was left out. So anyway, we're really pleased that you were able to come. Enjoy the day, stay dry, we hope, and I'll let Donna take over. And let's have a round of applause for Donna, because she's the person behind it all.
All right, thank you guys all for coming, and teachers that I've been emailing back and forth with, you got a feel over the last couple weeks for the logistics of what goes into putting all of this together, so I want to thank all of you for your patience as we got all of the things done. I'm very happy to report that because of the generosity of the labs and because of some teachers deciding to cancel, which was actually useful, we were able to get everybody in who had applied. So, very, very cool. All right, so just going over the logistics of the day. We have over 250 of you that are here today. You're in actually 31 groups, it turned out. You're going into, I think, 26 different lab locations. And if you guys don't all work together, it's not going to happen. So it's very important that you guys actually, follow the plan for how we're doing things. So I'm just going to go through kind of what needs to happen to make sure everything goes through smoothly. So the first thing, of course, is why you guys are all here, and that's the lab tours. So there are groups that you have been assigned to. So on your name tags, you guys have numbers, okay, right there in the corner on the name tag. Nice number right there. That is your group number, all right? You are going to be assembling out in the foyer, or if it's not raining, okay, up in the courtyard. You are going to be looking for your escorts, which will have bright yellow signs. Can I have my escorts wave those signs around for me? That's what you're looking for. So they'll have those numbers. You're going to be looking for those signs. Find them. Okay? This is the most critical thing. You are assigned to groups based on what the labs can handle. So depending on, we've got labs here, everything from, one PI and a couple postdocs and maybe one grad student, to labs like Jeff's. How many do you have in your lab now? Yours is, well, he's got 10, okay, but then Ellen's husband has how many in your lab? 50? Okay, seems like 50 when we walk in there. So anyway, the labs are all different sizes, so they can accommodate different size groups. So it's very, very important that if a lab says they could accommodate 5 students, that 20 don't show up. So it's very, very important. Stay with your group. We've got a very great day planned for you. That's going to be critical. You guys are all split up. So if you are here with a particular school, there were 10 of you here at that school, you guys are hopefully going to 10 different locations, so that when you come back together, you've got a lot more information to share with each other. So there's actually a reason why we split you up. Because you are split up and you're going to be with people that you don't know from other schools, this is your first opportunity to do networking. Science is a collaboration. It is a community. And one of the things that's very important in science is talking and networking with the other scientists around you. So this is your first chance to start networking. You are going to be on these tours with people who may one day very well might end up at the same college as you do. You guys might end up in the same dorms, things like that, and you're going to recognize each other from today. So start your networking early. All right, so that's the groups. When you get into the labs, there's some things to be aware of. Okay, pay attention. The labs are tight. We don't have a lot of room in the labs. You're going to find that you're going to have to be careful moving around. Be very aware of purses and backpacks, things like that. Don't hit anything on the lab bench behind you. All right, so respect the lab space. There are going to be things set up for you by the scientists that are doing the tours, but there's also other work going on in the lab as well. And so there might be other experiments set up on the bench right next to you that don't have anything to do necessarily with what you're going to be looking at today, but it's still somebody else's experiment. So just be aware of that. We do need you guys to participate and ask lots of questions. Our scientists are fabulous, but they can't read your minds, and they do have a tendency to forget the fact that you guys are just learning a lot of the terminology. So, it's kind of like learning a second language. You guys are learning all the vocabulary in high school, but you're not really thinking in the language of biology yet. The scientists tend to forget that. So if they start talking too fast, slow them down. Ask a question. It's fine. Okay? They actually prefer the questions. Yes, they want the questions, all right? I will also say, as Jeff said, we have scientists from all over the world that are here at the Salk Institute. In some cases, the accents can be very strong. We're used to that. It's not, nobody takes it askance if you say, can you spell what you just said? Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's not a problem. So if you can't understand an accent, ask. Don't be embarrassed by that. You do have note paper in your folders, okay? So there is note paper for you. So take notes. I guarantee you, I used to be a high school teacher. I used to bring my students to this event. I expected my students to be able to come back and report to me on what they saw in the labs. They better have taken notes. I'm betting your teachers will expect you to take notes, okay, of what you're seeing in your different labs. So make sure you have that. And not that I need to say this, but what we have found is that because people end up being so overwhelmed by this amazing thing that they're seeing in the lab, and there's so much cool stuff going on, that by the time the tour is over, you're kind of like walking out. So just remember to thank the scientists on your way out. Okay? They're volunteering their time today, so that's awesome. All right, so you are asked to take pictures. How many of you have a camera phone or anything with you? Awesome, great. I expect to see lots and lots of pictures. Okay, so take lots of pictures. Now, why would you take pictures of people you don't know? I've already told you that you're going to be in a group with people you don't know. Why would you take pictures of them? It's because we are going to be asking you to share those pictures. So in your folders, there is a small flyer that tells you how to upload all of the pictures to the March of Dimes High School Science Day website, where we can all see all the different pictures, and your teachers can go to all the different groups that their students were in and pull down all the pictures. So even if you don't know these people, take pictures of them, load it up to the website, delete the pictures, you're fine, okay? All right, so again, those instructions for uploading are on that small flyer. Okay, so after the lab tours, this is where it's going to get interesting. So when you come out from you've got two lab tours, one at 10 o'clock, one at 11 o'clock. When you come out from the 11 o'clock tour, look at the sky. Hopefully, the rain will hold off for us. Okay, we're going to keep our fingers crossed on that. So if it's sunny, we'll have you do one thing. If it's pouring rain, we'll have you do something else. So here's the deal. If it's sunny, when you finish the group or finish the tours, we're going to be set up for the group picture. So you'll be assembling in the main courtyard, okay? There'll be a big ladder. You saw in the video them setting up that big ladder in the courtyard. So that ladder sits right here, okay? You'll be assembling in the courtyard. They'll take the picture. Scientists and escorts, we expect you guys to be in the picture too. We're going to have that shutter click at noon. Okay, so make sure you're there in the picture. Escorts, make sure your groups are in that courtyard at noon. Now, if you don't see a ladder, I don't care if you think it's sunny. If there's no ladder, we've decided it's raining. Okay? So if there's no ladder, you're going to go with the rain setup. All right? But if the ladder's there, you get your picture. Once you finish the picture, you're going to come down into the foyer where you guys just were for lunch. So it's served down in the foyer, okay? What you're going to be doing is coming down the stairs And where you guys all came down one side this morning for registration, when you come back after the group picture, you'll be going down both of the staircases. No matter which staircase you go down, you're going to turn left. We've got the tables set up so that everybody can get their lunch in the shortest amount of time. It's an assemble your own type of system, so there's going to be a lunch bag. Grab your bag and just start, fill in your bag as you go through. This is for the guys. Take one, okay? Hopefully there will be extras. If there are extras, fine. At the end, you can go and get the extras, but please take one until everybody gets fed. If you're eating up in the courtyard, make sure that you bring your trash back to the foyer with you. I don't know if they set up trash cans because of the rain, so make sure you bring all your trash back. We do, hopefully the scientists will be out there, so please find the scientists, talk to them. And make sure you're cleaning up everything. We do recycle here at Salk, so make sure your recyclables go into the proper bins. All right, so that's what happens if it's sunny. You're coming down for lunch. If it's raining, okay, you come out of your lab tours, there's no ladder, or it's pouring rain and it's pretty obvious, okay? What will happen is we'll do lunch first. You're going to go down into the foyer, you'll do your lunch, okay? If it's pouring rain, you're probably going to be coming out through the tunnels, in which case we'll have the table set up so that you just branch off and go down each side. So there'll be signs, trust me. All right, again, it's assemble your own, take one, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you're not going to be eating up on the courtyard, but we will have the side rooms open, okay, for our other meeting rooms. Don't eat here in the auditorium. There's no food or drink here in the auditorium, okay? Again, hopefully the scientists will be there, talk with them, make sure you clean up and recycle. Okay, we'll do the group picture after lunch and we'll have it here in the auditorium. So, if there's no ladder, if it's raining, we'll get everybody back in here. The shutter will click at 12:40. We'll have a ladder here for the picture and we'll have you guys all grouped in. Make sense? Awesome, okay. So, our speaker will be talking to us after lunch. We'll be here in the auditorium. Today our speaker is Dr. Alan Sagatelian, and we are very, very happy he is going to be our speaker. He stepped in at the last minute. Our previous speaker ended up having a family emergency. So you'll notice on some of your paperwork, on I think your evaluations, it still says Janelle Ayers. Okay, it's now Alan Sagatelian. She didn't change. Okay, his biography is in your folders. Okay, his talk will start at 12:45 right here in the auditorium. So if we're in here for the picture, great, he'll start. If we're eating lunch, okay, you just need to make sure you get in here to the auditorium after lunch. All right. At the conclusion of his talk, after question and answer session, again, you'll have your evaluation forms. Teachers, yours are blue, students are green. Again, just change Janelle Ayers to Alan Sagatelian. Okay, those evaluation forms need to be filled out before you leave because your evaluation form is your ticket for your string backpack, which is your souvenir for the day. Okay, so it's an exchange. You hand us a paper, okay? You hand us a paper that is filled out on both sides, okay? And we give you the backpack. All right, we good? Yeah, I'm still talking. You can tell I was a teacher. All right, so now, escorts. If you can go ahead, pick up your rosters at the registration desk and pick a staging spot either in the foyer or if it's not raining, up top. Go ahead and head out at this time.
And Jeff has one more
excuse me, and Jeff has a comment.
One more comment.
Come on up, Jeff. Interrupt my talk, see if I can.
I meant to say one really important thing. This is the problem of getting up without notes. You always forget something. What I wanted to say that's very, very important is that science is an equal opportunity employer. It doesn't make any difference what your background was, what race you are, or anything else. All that matters is your curiosity and your initiative. And of course, you have to do well in college. So as an example, my dad was a furniture salesman, my mom was a housewife. If you look at the graduate class at UCSD from which we get our graduate students, at least 50% is women. And science is a wonderful, wonderful work experience. You get to travel the world, meet people of different types, and nowadays, unlike when I started, you can actually make really good money. So I want to encourage you to think about science very seriously as a career.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Very important. All right, so my escorts have headed out. My 25th alumni, again, can I please have a round of applause for the people who started? Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Alumni, turn around for a picture. Fabulous. Okay, so again, folks, without their vision 25 years ago, we would not have this event today, so we thank you guys. Alumni, you will be joining us in a few minutes in the trustees room for a little coffee reception, give you guys a chance to gab and talk and reminisce a bit, so please join us for that in the trustees room. I would suggest hanging out in here for a few minutes, just saying. Okay, teachers and students, you have your folders, you have your stuff, you know your numbers. Go have fun.